people, they're not any better than me. I get re-inspired, like I'm going to go. And then the third event, and then the fourth event, and then the fifth event. And for me, I'll just tell you for me, the recognition thing started to hurt a little bit. Did it ever start to hurt a little bit for you? Because you know these people now. You're friends with them. And some of them aren't even very smart. And they're walking across the stage and they're getting all the awards. And you're like, what is the matter? They don't even know what makes our product work. They don't even know how our compensation plan pays out. They don't know any of this stuff. And they're walking across talking about having 18,000 people on their team. And I started to think that there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm somehow getting in the way because these Forrest Gumps walking across the stage, I started to get cynical about it almost. And I remember going to an event that changed my life. And I'm sitting in the audience and I'm a little bit cynical now. I'm like rolling my eyes a little bit now. And, I'd sit and say to the people next to me, because I know the person coming up that was going to get another award, I'd say, here comes Charlie. Charlie's going to cry. Watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Charlie's crying. Told you. Called it. So I'm like, oh, this is so frustrating. But in that same event, I'm sitting there by myself, not even with my team, and I had this idea come in my head. What if I decide to become a professional here? What if I don't worry about momentum? What if I'm not concerned about luck? What if I stop looking for shortcuts? I don't worry about timing, positioning. Am I on the right team, wrong team? What if I just work on the skills necessary to build a big business? And not just in my head, but in practice, that I actually learn it and do it. If I become world class at this, maybe that's the secret. Maybe if I make that decision, nothing will get in my way. It was just like that. I will tell you, everything changed. My dominating emotion up to that point in my whole career, 3.5 years, full time, making just enough money to be miserable, making just enough money to be behind on my bills, making just enough money to pay my minimums on my credit cards. Okay? So frustrated, so annoyed that I couldn't have a breakthrough. My dominating emotion for those 3.5 years was fear. Fear that I wasn't enough. Fear that maybe I lived in the wrong place in the world. Fear that I wasn't on the right team. Fear that maybe I wasn't with the right company. Fear that maybe I was the problem that was chasing people away. Afraid that I was going to miss the opportunity, have it walk by me and miss it. And once I made the decision, says, hold on, I'm just going to be a pro, and I'm not going to worry about timing, positioning, luck, strategies, magic, directions. I'm not going to worry about any of that. I'm just going to focus on being the best version of me and becoming world-class at the skills necessary to grow a business here. And in that moment of decision, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All the fear just went, whew, gone. It's gone. And I know what my plan is. And I immediately became like a investigator. I said, okay, I have to find the people who know how to find prospects. And I'd start asking around, who do you know that is amazing at finding prospects, that have so many prospects that it's unlimited? And I would track those people down, and I'd buy them lunch. I'd buy them breakfast, and I'd start asking questions. I'd start create a playbook. What are they doing? What are they saying? How are they finding all these people? Because I didn't know that many people. How are they networking professionally? How do they have a situation where they never run out of quality prospects? And I built a playbook. And I said, okay, what's the next step? They have to invite those people to understand what I had in product and in opportunity. So how do you invite people to take a look in a way that works and also duplicates? How do you do that? So I learned that it wasn't one size fits all. There's a direct approach for some people. There's an indirect approach for other people. There's a super indirect approach for highly successful people. I never knew. So I started collecting their scripts, and I started asking people what they really did, not just what they trained on stage. What's the real story? Because I found out that a lot of the very top earners had a difficult time expressing what they really did. You know, we have all these rhymey things in network marketing, you know. If it is to be, it's up to me, and all that stuff. A lot of things that rhyme, and a lot of trainings that are repeated with what was trained to us. But I was really interested what actually worked. And what was if success leaves clues, what were the clues that I could pick up from amazing, strong, best people? And could I do what they did? Could I learn it? Then the next thing was, how do I present to those people in a way that works but also duplicates, that they can go do it with the next person? How do I answer questions, overcome objections? Objections used to terrify me. And I learned to love them. How do I follow up, stay in conversation with people until they become fully educated and they can make a decision on the product or the opportunity? How do I help a person make a decision to say yes? How do I get more customers? How do I get more builders? How do I help those people launch their business? How do I promote for events? I started creating all this playbook. It turned into this book here, GoPro. The skills made a career for me. And I've got to tell you, once I made the decision and once I put the skills into place, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. I had worked hard for my first 3.5 years and didn't have much to show for it at all. And then the next 2 years, I became $1 million earner. When I was 29 years old, I would love to say I made $1 million in my 20s, but I didn't quite. I made $980,000. And I would have given them $20,000 just to be able to have the second comma in my 1099. You know? A lot of people have one comma in the number that they get paid for the year. You got to get to 2 commas. That's special, right? 29 years old, I make it to this level. And that started a run of many, many years of earning $1 million a year. And over the course of the 35 years that I've been involved, I will tell you a couple things. First, network marketing isn't perfect. It has its challenges. It's judged for sure. It's misunderstood for sure. It's emotional, way more emotional than a regular job, way more emotional than a traditional small business, which was surprising to me. So it's not perfect, but if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, it's better. It's better than any form of entrepreneurship for the average person. There is nothing on earth that compares with the low price of entry, the high potential return, the amount of support, the amount of patience, the amount of flexibility. It doesn't discriminate. I mean, it's amazing. It's better than anything you can point to out there for a side hustle. Nothing even close. Number 2, if you're going to do it, if you're going to be involved, I would wish one of 2 things for you. If your expectations are here, your dreams are here, but your commitment level is here, you're always going to be frustrated. you're always going to be feeling bad. So one thing has to change. Either your commitment has to go up or your expectations have to come down. See, I would rather you have a low vision, have a low dream and low commitment, and just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself. Have fun. You put in a few hours here. You're not expecting the world. You get a check. You go, oh, wow, look, I got a check. This is amazing. And just be happy. But if you have a high commitment, you got to change, a high dream, you have to change the commitment up to the level of that dream. That means you have to become a professional. That means you need to learn the skills. That means there's 4 things that we do. You got to master all 4. 1, you need to learn how to sell. Nothing wrong with selling. Some people say, we don't sell, we share. We sell, come on. You got to sell. Some you're selling products, some you're selling the idea of your business, whatever. Selling. Nothing happens unless you sell the product. Number 2, you can expand a team by recruiting. So recruiting. Build an ever-expanding team of other people who are selling as well. And the great thing about your business is there's no limits. You can recruit as many people as you have the skill to recruit and the will to recruit. You can recruit. There's nothing stopping you. Third thing that we do is we duplicate. We teach other people how to sell and recruit. And now we start to get leverage. The first 2 things, let me tell you what they are. They're not really a business yet. It's just a job. Selling and recruiting, it's just a job. You're trading time for money. Pull you out, you slow down, everything falls apart, right? So that's the job side of our business. If you want to get into the business side, the leverage, scale, duplication is number 3. Teaching people how to teach people how to teach people. Building a team that doesn't need you. Taking a person that's dependent on you and helping them become independent from you. An independent business owner. Not so needy on you all the time. My first 3.5 years, I had no duplication. And then I finally cracked the code. Like, oh my gosh. Finally, I have people on my team that are working without me pushing them. It was like a dream. So 1, sell. 2, recruit. 3, duplicate. And 4, we lead. We increase the productivity of our teams based upon our leadership. There's 2 teams of 100 people, same quality people. One has a great leader, one has a terrible leader. Which one's going to get more results over time? The great leader. Our job as leaders is to get people to do more of the correct activities than they were going to do without us. Get people to take action that they wouldn't have taken. Help people see the vision. Help people understand the game plan and the strategy and the systems inside of the organization. So sell, recruit, duplicate, lead. It's 4 things we do. Now, it's not like going to become a medical doctor. You can learn these 4 things. I did, and I had a 1.8 GPA in high school. So I was nobody's prize. What I was so grateful for is this profession would give me, it was patient, and it gave me time to figure it out. And once I figured it out, and once you figure it out, you don't have to worry about making money for the rest of your life. You really don't. These skills will make a career for you, will create a future for you. I would also tell you, anything worthwhile takes time. You need to put your head down and run when the company's ready to run and there's momentum. You're going to learn in the doing, not just in the study, but you're going to learn by doing more than anything else. But have urgency, but be patient with yourself at the same time. You can get tricked by seeing somebody just overnight, they're making big money, and you feel like there's something wrong with you. I have something called a 1-3-5-7 formula. It's going to take you about a year, 1 year, to get competent and profitable in a new business like this. It's going to take you about a year. How long did it take you, in number of months, to feel like you were competent and profitable in your business? How long did it take? You can put that in the chat. But on average, about a year. Right? 3, the 1, 3, 5, 7. It's going to take you about 3 years to replace a full-time income on average. It's going to take you about 3 years of serious, focused effort to replace your job. Be able to go, you can go full-time faster like I did, but to replace that job income that you had. It's going to take about 5 years to become a high-level income earner. It's going to take about 7 years for you to become a legend, for you to become a player. 1, 3, 5, 7. Now, here's the good news. You're going to be 7 years older anyway. You might as well become an absolute world-class pro at the end of that 7. Think about how fast the last 7 happened. It was what, 2016 to 2023? Went pretty quick. So good news is there's going to be pockets of momentum and excitement that happen inside of your 1, 3, 5, 7, and you're going to get a quick little boost. You're going to get, the company's going to be hot. There's going to be momentum and things are going to go crazy inside of your country. There's a new flavor and everybody goes nuts, right? And you're going to make some extra money, but be careful when you make that extra money and you're not that level of a leader yet, because if you don't quickly grow to the level of leadership required to be able to earn that income long term, the income's going to come back down to the level of leader that you are. You cannot out-earn your own personal development. In our business, you can become more and earn more. But if you don't become more, eventually, the earnings are going to come back down. So it's happened to me 15 times over the course of my career. 15 times. Where I out-earned myself and I thought I was a genius and I thought I was, everything I touch turns to gold and all of this stuff. I got a little ego involved. And then something happened and there's always something to blame. There's a reason why. But once I finally realized that it was all on me, I needed to master these 4 things and I needed to become better than I was if I expected to earn more than I was earning. Once I took responsibility, and it wasn't on the company, it wasn't on the upline, it wasn't on anything, it was just me. I learned to absolutely refuse to blame anything else or anyone else for my problems. I realized that blame was a dead-end street. And I also realized that if you start going down the road of, I'd like to do a little bit less and I'd like to make a little bit more, you start tiptoeing down that road. I'd like to do less and make more. Sounds exciting, right? Well, the end of that road is I want to do nothing and make everything. So we all agree you can't go there. You can't do nothing and make everything. So what if I go down a different road that says I'm going to become more and I'm going to commit more so I can earn more? I'm not going to be focused on luck, timing, positioning. I'm not going to live with these limiting beliefs. I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to crush it. I'm going to go out there and smash. I'm going to show everybody who ever doubted me that they were wrong. I'm going to show everybody that ever believed in me that they were right. And some of you, I got to talk to you about one thing for a second. And there's guilt involved in our business. Sometimes you just weren't quite there and you brought people in and you weren't prepared to be able to help them. So they quit.